Аграрный портал World of NAN взял эксклюзивное интервью у управляющего директора Союза немецких машиностроителей VDMA Тобиаса Эрхарда. Для начала, не могли бы вы дать краткую информацию о вашей организации?
Well, VDMA is the Association for the Mechanical Engineering Industry. Traditionally we come from Germany, but we also have member companies from Europe. So we have 3,600 member companies. 10% of them are coming from the whole Europe. And I'm responsible for the department or trade association VDMA Agricultural Machinery, which represents roughly around 200 manufacturers for agricultural equipment. So all names that you know, and many of my member companies are here as well. So I represent these companies.
Чем обусловлен ваш визит в Казахстан? Каковы ваши первые впечатления о стране?
Well, first of all, I'm new in the role of managing director of VDMA Agricultural Machinery. So I took over this position 1.5 years ago. I've understood that the market here is quite important for our member companies. It's a big country with a big potential for agricultural commodities. So I'm just here to get my first personal experience and impressions of the country and of the market and of the trade show. So this is, just for my personal information.
Что бы вы порекомендовали для индустриализации машиностроительного оборудования в Казахстане?
Well, I think it would probably make sense to concentrate on the resources that are already in the country. These can be personal resources, but also if you think about the raw materials, for example, that are here, and to look what can be produced in the country, and then where do you rely on technology that is imported to your country, like for example high-tech like agricultural machinery that is for example produced in Europe by VDMA member companies. So I think it's essential to find a good mixture of approach produced here in your country but also imported. Also of course taking into consideration the situation that you just described, transport costs and so on, logistics.
По вашему мнению, что является ключом успеха в сельском хозяйстве?
Well, I think the agricultural machinery sector has always been a very innovative one. So if you think about the beginnings of agriculture and innovation has always been a real driver for growth in the industry, but has also of course boosted the output of farmers. If you look at the amount of goods that farmers are able to bring out today, that's certainly driven by innovations. If you look at innovations today, we are very much talking about smart farming technologies to reduce input costs for the farmers, to reduce, for example, fertilizers, to reduce pesticides and herbicides. That's also something that's, if you look at in Europe, it's something that is driven by politics to reduce these substances, but it's also of course an input factor for farmers, and if you reduce them or are able to reduce them by technology, that will help to get a better outcome for the farmers. On the long run, I think digitalization issues will still remain very important. We are talking about the connectivity of machines. Interoperability is one term. The implement, also steering the tractor, for example. And if you look further ahead, autonomy will also certainly play an important role. Of course, we also always have to look at the different markets and the different needs, in different countries. But I think generally it will speed up. New technology will probably come faster than in the past. And one important aspect that our companies are also looking at is of course education and training, because new technology can only be implemented in an effective manner on the farms if farmers are trained especially.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Как немецкие фермеры адаптируются к изменениям климата в мире?
Quite a big discussion in Germany currently going on about how agriculture has to change to compete with these climate challenges. It's an ongoing process. We are talking about different cultivation methods, different usage of machinery. So, for example, direct seeding after the harvest is something that farmers more and more use to keep the water in the ground, not to use a plow, for example. So there are many techniques currently emerging to compete with climate change. And on the other hand, if you look at climate change, I think the windows, time slots where farmers can perform certain tasks on the field are getting smaller. So for example, this year we had a lot of rain during harvest season. So there was only a small window where the wheat, for example, could be harvested. So that again means you need technology, you need high power machinery to be able to do those tasks in a very short period of time.